We've all heard the timeless wisdom, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. It's plastered on motivational posters, whispers, and moments of doubts, and it's true, in a way. You can reach a destination without starting. But I've come to believe that this proverb, while inspiring, it's also profoundly incomplete, and sometimes even misleading. Imagine you are on the edge of a vast open field. Your goal, your true North Star, is a mountain ranged far in the distance directly to the north. And yes, you take your first step. But what if that first step and that second and the 10th, it's actually taking you south or east or just aimless wandering in circles? Suddenly, the first step isn't enough. In fact, if your initial steps are misdirected, the journey of 1,000 miles just got infinitely longer, more frustrating, and potentially impossible. You're spending energy, burning resources, but not truly progressing towards your intended destination. How often do we see this in our work, in our projects, in our lives? Teams launching into initiatives without a clear, singular focus. Individuals tackling tasks with admirable effort, but without an understanding of how each effort aligns with the ultimate hyperfocus. We celebrate business, but are we celebrating progress? The cost of misdirected effort isn't just wasted time. It's wasted talent, squandered resources, missed opportunities, and ultimately an erosion of trust and morale when goals remain elusive. My professional journey, and indeed my life, has taught me a profound truth that underpins everything I do. And it's this. True, sustainable progress, the kind that moves mountains and transforms industries, isn't about a sheer volume of steps. It's about the relentless, intentional alignment of every single tiny step towards one singular, crystal clear objective, executed with radical efficiency. This isn't just a management strategy. It's a philosophy for achieving extraordinary results in a world of infinite distractions. This realization crystallized into what I call my simple leadership philosophy. Take micro steps towards a hyper-focused goal the most efficient way possible. So let's break down what this actually means, and more importantly, how it changes the game. First, the hyper-focused goal. This is your true north. This is not a fuzzy vision statement. It's a singular, unwavering objective. It's the mountain you intended to climb. If you have 3 primary goals, you have 0. If you have 5, you're just busy. The discipline here is brutal. It requires saying no to 99% of the good ideas to say yes to one truly great, impactful one. It's absolutely clear on what done looks like for the one thing that matters most right now. If our destination is north, our hyper-focused goal is precisely north. Not generally northwards, but that peak right there. Secondly, micro steps. This is where many falter. We see the mountain and we want to take leap into summit. But true progress is a series of small, deliberate, measured actions. Crucially, these aren't just any small steps. They are steps designed specifically to advance you towards that hyper-focused goal. Every step has a purpose, a direction. It's not about being busy. It's about being effective. Think of it as setting your compass for north and then taking a step. You check your compass. Is this step still taking me north? Good. Take another. This continuous calibration is what ensures you don't veer off course. Finally, the most efficient way possible. This is where we cut through the noise, the bureaucracy, the unnecessary complexities. Efficiency isn't just speed. It's about maximizing impact with minimal waste. It's asking, what is the absolute simplest, most direct route from where we are to the next micro step on our path to the hyper-focused goal? It's ruthless prioritization and relentless simplification. If your goal is north and you're taking micro steps, efficiency is about finding the clearest path, avoiding the swamps, and not taking detours. It's about optimizing your strides, not just taking another one. To truly understand the transformative power of this philosophy, let me share a story. A story that taught me firsthand the critical difference between merely taking steps and intentionally moving north. Last year, I got a call that every service provider dreads. A long-standing client, a company with around 50 employees, was in a full-blown crisis. Their internal accountant had just quit on the spot without warning, leaving them completely stranded. And in 3 short days, payroll was due. Imagine the panic. 50 employees expecting their paychecks on time, and the person responsible for making that happen just vanished. My client was overwhelmed and on verge of tears, with no idea how to even begin converting their complex payroll data to a new system, let alone process it. This was our 1,000-mile journey, starting right in front of us with a critical twist. We couldn't afford a single step in the wrong direction. Every second counted. And if we started by trying to understand their old messy system or getting bogged down with minor discrepancies, we would be taking steps south. We would have missed the deadline, and those 50 employees would feel it. My client's stress and her business will be lost. So, instead of just leaping to action, we pause. We define a hyper-focused goal with absolutely clarity. Successfully process this payroll on time with 0 errors using the new software, ensuring the employees feel no disruption. That was our North Star. Bright and unmistakable. So then came the micro steps, taken with extreme intentionality and the most efficient way possible. My first micro step wasn't to dive into the data myself, was to call my client, reassuring her, then crucially, get the immediate critical data needed from her existing chaotic records. My second micro step was they immediately assign my most detail-oriented staff member to specific data entry tasks for the new system. I didn't say, hey, convert the payroll. I said, focus only on entering employee demographics into section A of the new software, double checking each entry for 5 minutes, and let nothing else distract you. While she tackled that, my next micro step was to jump into the new software quickly configure the most essential tax and deduction settings, just enough to process a basic run. We work in parallel, each of us taking tiny, precise, northbound steps. I was constantly checking our compass. Is this specific action getting us closer to a fully processed payroll? Is this the most direct, efficient path? There were moments of intense pressure, of course. My client called frequently, worried. My micro steps there was to provide calm, concise updates, always reassuring her we were on track, and shielding my staff member from distractions so she could maintain her focus. The results? After 3 intense days of hyper-focused effort, precise micro steps, and ruthless efficiency, we did it. The payroll was processed on time in the new system. Her employees never felt the difference. My client was not just relieved, she became a client for life because she saw firsthand the power of taking the right steps in the right direction when it mattered most. That experience solidified my belief. It's not enough to start a journey. It's about knowing your north and assuring every single step, no matter how small, is a precise, efficient stride in that exact direction. This isn't just my story. It's a blueprint for your success, for our collective success. I invite you to examine your own journey. Are you busy or are you progressing? Are your steps taking you north or somewhere else entirely? Start small. For your next major project or even your next big personal goal, pause. Just don't take the first step. First, define your hyper-focused goal. What is that singular mountain peak? Write it down. Make it undeniably clear. Be brutal in its singular focus. Then, identify the very first micro step that moves you directly towards that goal. Not 3 steps, not 10, just one tiny, undeniably forward movement. And finally, ask yourself, is this the most efficient way possible to take this step? Eliminate every distraction, every unnecessary complexity. The journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with the first step. But the successful journey of 1,000 miles begins with the right first step, taking precisely, efficiently, and relentlessly towards a singular North Star. Imagine the collective power, the profound impact when every single person on your team, on your organization, aligns their energy and their steps towards the same precise north. We won't just start journeys. We will conquer mountains. Thank you